Axes clash in the mist. Norse warrior Sigurd stands outnumbered, defending his home from sudden invaders. Villagers scream. Sigurd's eyes burn with anger as swords flash around him. A foreign raider lunges. Sigurd's shield cracks from a brutal strike. He staggers, but does not fall. Freydis rushes in, shield raised with runes shining. She fights back to back with Sigurd. Flames surround them. Steel rings as Freydis and Sigurd drive raiders into the sea. Sigurd slams his axe into an enemy's shield. The blow shatters wood, sending the man to his knees. On-screen text: Norway, 865 AD. Sigurd gazes at his burning village, eyes gleaming with fury and fear. Einar, the young scout, sprints through the forest, searching for survivors and new threats. Sigurd grips Freydis' hand. Their faces are grim. The next raid could come any moment. Angry villagers beg Sigurd for leadership. He raises his axe high, swearing to protect them all. Bjorn, the chieftain, arrives, bloodied but alive. He limps into the firelight, gripping his sword. Chieftain Bjorn's voice booms, "We are not beaten yet." The crowd roars in reply. Einar returns, breathless. "More ships on the horizon," he shouts, panic in his eyes. On-screen text cue: Northmen must decide, fight or flee. Bjorn signals to ready defenses. Sigurd nods grimly. He checks his axe, heart pounding. The next battle comes fast. A horn blares. Freydis stands tall, shield high, bracing for the clash. An enemy javelin thuds into the sand at Sigurd's feet. Attackers rush from the surf. Steel clashes. Einar leaps onto a raider's back, driving his dagger deep. Sigurd roars, breaking the enemy's line with each crushing blow. Blood stains the sand. Freydis parries a blade, ducking low, then countering with a shield bash. A wounded raider scrambles up the rocks. Einar signals. Some attackers run, but more advance. Bjorn meets an enemy captain, swords clashing in sparks. The duel draws all eyes. Sigurd fights beside Bjorn. The family's future hangs on every swing of his axe. A sudden shout. Freydis is surrounded. She slams her shield left and right, desperate. Sigurd sees Freydis in danger. He barrels through the crowd, desperate to reach her. Bjorn is wounded. Blood soaks his cloak as he staggers, but will not fall. Einar hurls a rock, distracting Freydis' attackers. She breaks their line and escapes. Overhead, crows circle as daylight fades. The battle begins to turn. Breathing hard, Sigurd and Freydis stand together, bloodied but alive. The raid is over, for now. On-screen text: Aftermath. The Norse count their dead. Silence settles over the battered shore. Chieftain Bjorn, pale and tired, orders new barricades and patrols through the night. Einar scouts the cliffs. He spots a mysterious fire burning far to the north. Sigurd marks the deaths. For each name, he carves a rune into a tree as tribute. Freydis secretly prays to the old gods for strength. Her eyes brim with tears. Bjorn calls for a council at sunrise. Leaders gather, tension thick in the smoky hall. Sigurd argues, should they seek vengeance or travel east for safety? The room erupts in debate. Abruptly, Einar bursts in. "Another fire! Northland's under attack!" Sigurd and Freydis share one look. Their fate is not yet decided. Will they abandon their home or fight for it? Teaser. North winds howl. As new enemies gather, Sigurd's hardest choice awaits. To be continued. Sparks burst as Sigurd blocks a sword swing against his shield, sweat streaming down his face. More enemy ships are seen on the horizon. On screen: Sigurd, Northern Coast, 868 AD. Freydis rushes to wounded villagers, barking orders as arrows rain down. Battle cries echo. On screen: Freydis, Shield Maiden. Einar sprints along the crumbling shore, eyes sharp from movement, as smoke blurs the horizon. On screen: Einar, Young Scout. Bjorn grits his teeth, blood trickling from his arm, sword drawn as his warriors gather for a counterattack. On screen: Chieftain Bjorn, injured but defiant. Sigurd pushes through terrified villagers. He locks eyes with Freydis. On screen: desperation in the village. Suddenly, a horn sounds. 3 blasts, a signal for danger. All turn toward the sea. On screen, enemy reinforcements arrive. Einar ducks behind crates, spying enemy scouts creeping along the tree line. On screen, scouts detected. Freydis grabs a torch, rallies a circle of frightened children, promising to shield them. On screen, Freydis defends the children. Sigurd and Bjorn meet at the village hall, voices tense. They argue, defend or retreat. On screen, leadership divided. A sudden explosion. An enemy torch sets the storehouse ablaze. The night glows bright. On screen, food stores lost. Einar darts to warn the leaders. Out of breath, he describes dozens more raiders landed nearby. On screen, night raiders arrive. Bjorn orders shield walls. Grim-faced Norsemen brace for another fight. On screen, shield wall formed. Sigurd helps an old man up, barking at others to strengthen barricades. On screen, preparing last defenses. Freydis squares to face a massive raider breaking through a window. She lunges. On screen, Freydis in combat. Einar leads a wounded woman through shadows to safety. His dagger glints. On screen, rescue in the night. Bjorn winces as he ties a rag over his bleeding arm. He grits out orders to defend the granary. On screen, chieftain's pain. Sigurd walks the barricades, keeping villagers focused. He pauses, hearing a distant horn. On screen, uncertain calm. Freydis sits beside a young girl, helping bind a bloody wound. She reassures her softly. On screen, moments of kindness. Einar overhears two strangers whispering about betrayal among the villagers. His eyes narrow. On screen, rumors and distrust. Bjorn and Sigurd confront an anxious group. Accusations fly in the smoky air. On screen, unity tested. Freydis, torn between duty and doubt, glances at the fleeing villagers. Her jaw sets. She stays. On screen, staying against the odds. Einar climbs a lookout tree. His heart pounds as distant banners flap. Raiders regroup. On screen, enemy movement spotted. Sigurd studies the dark enemy camp by torchlight, lips tight. He imagines his family taken if they fail. On screen, Sigurd's fear. Bjorn calls a war council by the last standing longhouse. They must decide, attack at dawn or fortify. On screen, crucial choice. Freydis volunteers for a risky night raid. She and Einar exchange a nod. They leave quietly. On screen, secret mission. Sigurd silently sharpens his axe, watching the moon. He remembers his father's sacrifice in another raid. On screen, haunted by the past. At the enemy camp, Freydis narrowly dodges a guard's blade. Einar signals. Coast is clear. On screen, stealth and danger. Bjorn prays quietly over fallen comrades, laying weapons on their chests. His hands tremble. On screen, honoring the dead. Sigurd catches the glint of movement in the trees. Not all their enemies are at camp. He stiffens, alert. On screen, lurking threats. Freydis and Einar sneak past sleeping invaders, pausing to overhear plans of a major attack. On screen, enemy secrets discovered. The council debates long into the night. Sigurd is torn. Attack brings risk. Retreat brings shame. On screen, divided fates. Outside, Einar spots fresh tracks. Someone's missing from the village. He warns the leaders. On screen, suspicion rises. Flames roar across shattered homes as Sigurd charges through the chaos, axe in hand, rallying fighters around him. Bjorn, bleeding but resolute, orders defenders to man the burning palisade as enemy horns blare from the dark fjord. Freydis smashes her shield into an invader, grabs a child, and darts through falling ash as a wall collapses. Einar crawls behind enemy lines, overhearing whispers of a traitor within the village's ranks.